Okay guys, what's up? As you guys have probably already figured out, that this is why I do all of my updating, my maintenance, and all these things on the coach during the winter and the spring months, because that's cool. And a lot of it has to be done up on the roof or under the chassis and those kind of things. And I don't like sweating a lot. I like to make it easy on myself. Well, we're getting ready to head up to Maine, and I got one more thing I want to do, and that's to clean the roof vents. I'm going to go up and show you how to easily clean these roof vents, and actually how to leave the vents open even while it's raining. Details coming up on RV Street. So, to clean these vents, as you know, you're traveling around week to week, campground, month after month. It gets hot, it rains, it gets dusty, and those vent covers and screens and everything get dirty up in there. So this is a cleaning job, but I'm going to show you how to make it real easy. Okay, so the tools that we're going to need for this job is not going to be much. We're going to go up on top of the roof, we're going to take these vent covers off, and we're going to get in there and clean all that mildew and leaves and pine needles and dirt and all that nonsense. So, as I've told you before, the first thing we're taking up there is my homemade knee pad. Okay, this is where I put on the roof. I lean on this with my knees. This saves my knees. I actually have one of these in every single bay. So no matter where I go working on the coach, I've got one right next to me. We're going to need a whole roll, not a half a roll, a whole roll of paper towels. We're going to need a bottle of this Clorox and bleach pump spray. Okay, the next thing we're going to need is, this is my silicone lubricant dry spray. I use this on my leveling jacks. You've seen that in my leveling video. This is a dry silicone, but I use this, I'm already up there servicing and cleaning the vents, right? Well, you know, when you crank up and crank down the vent cover, you have that little metal mechanism there. Might as well give it some lube, right? And then I have this slide out rubber seal conditioner. I have been using this since we have had the coach the last 4 years. This stuff I use on everything rubber, seals, the thing like what we'll see up there when we lift up the vents, you'll see a rubber seal around there. I crawl under the coach, I'll put some of this stuff on my hands, see that there? And I'll go all over my radiator hoses, anything rubber where it tends to be in the sun or dries out because of heat. This stuff here keeps rubber nice and soft. And the last thing we're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver. So let's get up on the roof and let's start doing some cleaning. You know, as I look right here, just the next three coaches right next to us, all three of them do not have the additional roof vents on there. You can see the one right here in front of us, he actually has his roof vent open. The one behind him, they have the vents closed, and the one behind them way back there, they have those closed. He has his closed, he has his open. Now let's just say you went to the pool or you went to the store and you forgot to close that vent and it starts to rain. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have water in the coach. So here's how you solve the problem. So as you can see, one of the first things I did when we were preparing to go full time, you can see all that stuff in part 1, part 2, and part 3. But in part 1, I actually covered the roof. And one of the things that I did is I installed these vent exterior covers. And what these covers do is they allow us to open up and crank the vents open from inside, but it keeps the rain out from coming into the coach, and it keeps that whole area pretty darn clean. It also reflects a lot of the heat. So it keeps heat coming into the coach. It keeps debris from accumulating around the vents. And if you accidentally leave the vents open, you're not going to get rain coming into the coach. We have 3 vent covers. This is the one that's over the kitchen. We have another one there that's over the half bath. And we have another one way back there that's over the full bath. I kind of come around the front. This is what it looks like. It's vented. They're worth their weight in gold, but they have to be cleaned. Because over time, you have, traveling on the road, turning on the vent, they get dirty in there. They even get, not moldy, but they get mildew and stuff like that built in there. So as you can see, there's 2 screws, 2 Phillips screws right here. You undo one, and you undo the other one. Okay, so we have gotten the screws out, and this just lifts up. Can you see that on the back? On the back, it just hinges on these 3 hinges. You see that? 1, 2, 3. Okay? But look how dirty that gets in there. You see that? This is from a year of traveling and turning on the fans. So what we're going to do is we're going to just saturate this whole thing with that Clorox spray, wipe them down with paper towels, and get this all clean. When you're spraying this Clorox stuff on there, I mean, you can actually look at it. It's just, it's almost like instantaneous. It just starts to cut through all that mildew and dirt, and this stuff is really awesome. So we're just going to continue just to spray, and let it sit there, and then we're going to come back and wipe it all over the top of the lid too, everything. We're going to clean this whole entire area, including even those blades. Hey Joni, go ahead and raise the lid up now. So since we've taken the fan cover off, now she can crank that lid wide open, and now I can get all up inside the lid. I have complete access now to the blades and this whole entire area. So we're going to continue to clean this. It takes about 15 minutes per fan. So wow, look how nice and clean that is. I mean, it's just all sparkling clean. And I'll tell you what, when after you clean these vents like this, you can even smell the difference in the coach. I mean, you get rid of all that nastiness, and you've cleaned out all the leaves all down in here, and pine needles and mildew, and like with this one being over the kitchen, you get a lot of grease and stuff that's the fan has sucked up over the months. But anyway, look how nice that looks. Okay, so now for the very last 2 things that I do, I mean, I'm up here servicing these things, so let's go ahead and finish it. I'm going to take the slide out seal conditioner that I showed you down there. I love this stuff. It's a very creamy conditioner. They tend to dry out over time. I mean, we all know that, right? Well, we're gonna take care of that right now. You just take this, here, it's a foam. It's a really cool foam. And you just spray it on here, okay? And then take your fingers and rub it on there. And it just makes this rubber really soft. I love this stuff so much. I use this on all my slide seals. I use it on all my rubber hoses in the engine bay, my radiator hoses, anything that is rubber that gets hot or dried out. I use this slide out seal rubber conditioner. It feels good to your hands. It makes the rubber soft, and it protects them. Look at these seals. These things are 8 going on 9 years old, and they look brand new. So this is a good idea while you're up here. And the last thing is this mechanism right here. When you're cranking in or cranking out your vent, this metal mechanism is what moves. So while I'm up here, This is the same silicone dry lubricant I use on my power gear jacks. It's a dry lube, so it will not collect dirt and dust and all that. So I'll just take my hand back here and kind of block it, and I'll just spray, and I'll get that on those metal parts and down on that little gear right there. This thing is done. Okay, so now I'm going to have Joni crank the lid here, have her bring it back down so I can put on the big vent cover. So now she's got that down. So the last thing I need to do before I button it up is I'm actually now going to clean the air cover lids. Before I actually put these 2 screws down, I wanted to show you. Look at what that looks like now. Nice and clean. So we had the before, and now we have the after. Well, so there you have it. It's all buttoned up. Now I'm going to go to the half bath and then the full bath, do the same exact thing back there, and then I'll meet you downstairs and have final comments. Okay, so I'm still back here at the half bath. I just got through cleaning it, but I wanted to go over how easy these vent covers are to install. They come in 2 halves. You have the bottom half, and then you have the top half that attaches back here to these 3 hinges, and then it flips over and you attach it here and here with 2 screws. But here is how easy these things are to install. They are a standard size because all the vents on RVs are standard. So these covers are going to be standard. So you get the 2 plastic halves, and you get these 4 pieces of hardware. You have these slots right here and these slots right here. So you measure here to here, you put in a screw, and you mount this L bracket to the side here, 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 and back here. You put the bottom piece on by running the bolt underneath this bracket, put the bottom piece on, put the nut on and a washer in 4 places, and boom. I mean, you can look at that and see how easy that is to do. This is probably one of the simplest vent upgrades there is, but probably the one that would be most valuable, because it could save a whole ton of destruction if you ever left one of these vents open and it rained. I'll tell you, the honest truth is, Joni and I, when we're in really good weather, like up in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Ohio, or any of the cooler states during the summer, we leave our windows open, we leave these vents open, because of course it's got the tops on them, right? They're all buttoned down, so we can leave the tops on, and we get a nice gentle breeze through the coach all day, all night. And I'll tell you what, these things are so cheap and they're so easy to install. I just really personally believe every RV should have one of these. So in summary, you can see how easy that was to clean. I'm going to list all this stuff in the description up there. Just hit show more, it'll drop down, you'll see the links for the vent covers. They're not expensive. It could be pouring out here, and you can open up those vents and allow that breeze to blow through the vents, and you don't have to worry about rain. I've actually known a couple of people who did not have those vent covers on, and they opened up the vents, they took a shower, they were getting ready to go on a trip for the day, and they forgot to close those vents. They didn't have the additional vent cover on, and when they came home, it rained and the whole floor was full of water. So these vent covers are really important to have. Anyway, if you liked this video and if this helped you, hit that like button down there and let me know that you liked it. That encourages me to do more. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell, and you'll be notified the next time I upload my next video. Subscribing is free, okay? This doesn't cut. These are free videos. Anyway, that's it for now. This is RV Street. Stick around.